Listen to me. If you don't change the way you think, you will never change the way you live. Your entire life, your results, your relationships, your money, your health, your purpose is tied to one thing: your mindset. The thoughts you feed yourself every single day are either building your future or destroying it. You want different results. You want to stop living average. Then you got to stop thinking average. You got to stop letting your old thoughts run your new life. If you think small, you will live small. If you think like a victim, you will live like a victim. Let me make this crystal clear. Your life is nothing more than the reflection of what goes on inside your head. People want to talk about luck, about opportunity, about privilege, about who gets the breaks. And I'm not saying those things don't exist, but listen to me. Before any of that matters, your thoughts set the ceiling for your life. You can't outwork your own mindset. You can grind, you can hustle, you can stay up late and wake up early, but if deep down in your mind, you're telling yourself you're not worthy, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not gifted enough, then all that work is going to hit a wall. You don't rise higher than your thoughts. You've been living on autopilot, accepting whatever thoughts come into your mind as if they were the truth. And those thoughts have been sabotaging you. Every time you say, "This is too hard," your brain believes it. Every time you say, "I'm not good enough," your brain writes it down. And then, without even realizing it, you begin to live it out. That's why some people stay stuck for years. Not because they lack talent, not because they don't have opportunities, but because they keep recycling the same broken thoughts over and over again. And those thoughts keep building the same broken life. You gotta wake up and understand thoughts are seeds. Every thought you plant in your mind will grow into something. Plant negativity, you're gonna harvest negativity. Plant fear, you're gonna harvest fear. Plant excuses, you're gonna harvest regret. But if you plant discipline, you'll harvest success. If you plant gratitude, you'll harvest joy. If you plant faith, you'll harvest growth. What you're seeing in your life right now, your job, your habits, your bank account, your relationships, are the results of the thoughts you planted years ago. If you don't like what you're seeing, stop blaming everybody else and start planting new thoughts. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about positive thinking, like just saying happy words to yourself. No. This is about rewiring your brain. This is about deciding that no matter what you've been through, no matter who doubted you, no matter how many times you failed, you're going to control the conversation inside your own head. You can't let fear write the script. You can't let your past write the script. You can't let other people write the script. You got to grab the pen and start writing new lines. I am capable. I am disciplined. I am relentless. I can handle this. I am not average. I will not stop. The truth is, your external life will always bow to your internal thoughts. You cannot think like a loser and live like a champion. It doesn't work like that. Champions are built in the mind first. Legends are created in the head before they ever step onto the stage. Every comeback story, every underdog victory, every person who's ever shocked the world, before they did it out here, they did it in here. They changed the conversation in their head. So here's my challenge to you: audit your thoughts. Pay attention to what's going on up there. Every time you catch yourself thinking something small, something weak, something toxic, stop it right there. Replace it with something that pushes you forward. You've been thinking defeat long enough. You've been thinking fear long enough. You've been thinking average long enough. It's time to think big. It's time to think strong. It's time to think like the person you were created to be. Because until you change the way you think, you will never change the way you live. You're trying to run your life on old software, and that's why nothing is loading. That's why every time you try to level up, you crash. That's why you keep hitting the same wall. You're still thinking with the same mindset you had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even from your childhood. And you can't expect new results with outdated programming. Imagine trying to run the latest apps on a 10-year-old phone. It freezes. It glitches. It can't handle the update. That's what's happening in your life. You want a better career, stronger relationships, more money, more health, more peace. But you're trying to install all of that on a system that's still full of fear, excuses, and self-doubt. Some of you keep telling yourself, that's just the way I am. No, that's the way you've trained your brain to be. That's the way your old operating system was written, and you've been living by it. But here's the truth. You can reprogram it. You can delete the viruses, fear, laziness, negativity, and you can upload new files, discipline, belief, focus, courage. The question is, are you willing to hit that reset button? Because as long as you keep running that outdated code, your life will keep crashing. Let me be real with you. You've been trying to build a mansion on a cracked foundation. You keep saying, this year will be different. But you're dragging the same mindset into the new year. You keep saying, this time I'll win. But you're carrying the same beliefs that made you lose last time. You don't need a new opportunity. You need a new operating system. You don't need another chance. You need another mindset. And until you upgrade what's inside, nothing on the outside will stay upgraded. Think about it. Fear is an old file. Doubt is an old file. Procrastination is an old file. Some of you are walking around with mental files so outdated, they've been corrupting your hard drive for years. And then you wonder why your life moves in circles, why you're always restarting from zero, why you never feel like you're moving forward. It's not because you're cursed. It's because you refuse to update. You refuse to let go of the old thought patterns. I need you to understand this. Upgrading your life starts with upgrading your mind. That means you gotta challenge everything you believed until now. If you've been telling yourself, I can't, you need to rewrite it to, I can and I will. If you've been saying, I don't have enough, you need to rewrite it to, I will create enough. If you've been stuck on, I'm not ready, you need to rewrite it to, I'm ready because I decided to be ready. That's the update. That's the new version of you. And once you install that, your actions will line up, your habits will line up, and your results will line up. Stop dragging yesterday into today. Stop letting old software crash your new opportunities. Stop living on a system that wasn't designed for where you're going. You want to go further. You want to go faster. You want to do what your family never did. You got to upgrade. You can't drive a race car with a bicycle chain. You can't run a marathon with broken shoes. You can't live a new life with an old mindset. This is the moment to reboot. This is the moment to uninstall doubt and reinstall discipline. This is the moment to delete fear and upload faith. This is the moment to throw out the excuses and install execution. You can't keep doing updates halfway. You need a full system upgrade, because the new level of your life requires a new level of thinking. And until you change the program in your head, you will never change the outcome in your hands. Some of you don't even realize it, but the reason you're stuck has nothing to do with your potential. It has everything to do with your environment. You've been programmed by the people around you, and they've been feeding your mind with negativity day after day. You keep wondering why your confidence is low, why your vision is blurry, why you can't seem to break through. And it's because you've been downloading other people's fear, other people's doubt, other people's limits into your system. You're carrying around mindsets that don't even belong to you. They were handed down by your family, your friends, your coworkers, your neighborhood, and you've accepted them like they were truth. But hear me, your environment is either fertilizing your growth or poisoning it. You can't expect to think like a lion when you're surrounded by sheep. You can't expect to believe in greatness when everybody around you is preaching mediocrity. If you hang out with people who complain all the time, who gossip all the time, who blame everybody else for their situation, guess what? You will start thinking like them. And before you know it, you'll be living the exact same way. You've got to take ownership of your environment. You've got to protect your mind like it's your most valuable treasure. Because it is. The wrong environment will kill your dreams faster than failure ever will. Failure will teach you something. The wrong environment won't even let you try. It will convince you that trying is pointless. It will convince you that success is for other people, not you. That's the danger of letting your environment control your thinking. Look, if you keep surrounding yourself with people who have no vision, you'll lose sight of yours. If you keep listening to people who only see problems, you'll stop seeing opportunities. If you keep giving your energy to people who are satisfied with being average, you'll start believing that average is enough for you too. That's how powerful your environment is. It doesn't just influence you, it programs you. And unless you fight it, you'll live your whole life stuck in somebody else's mindset. But you've got a choice. You can change the channel. You can choose what you listen to, who you talk to, what you watch, what you read. You don't have to keep absorbing negativity like a sponge. You can set boundaries. You can decide, I'm not letting that energy into my space. I'm not letting those words into my head. I'm not letting those doubts into my system. You can put yourself in an environment that feeds your growth. Yes, that challenges your excuses. That reminds you of your purpose. And don't get me wrong. I know it's not easy. Some of the people closest to you are the ones holding you back. Sometimes it's your own family, your own friends, the people you've known for years. But if you want to rise, you can't keep letting their negativity drag you down. You don't have to cut everybody off, but you do need to guard your mind. You need to spend less time in conversations that kill your energy and more time in conversations that build it. Start surrounding yourself with people who think bigger than you, people who stretch you, people who don't let you settle, people who make you feel uncomfortable in a good way, because they're showing you what's possible. That's the kind of environment that will reprogram your thinking. That's the kind of environment that will unlock your potential. At the end of the day, your mind is a garden. Your environment is the soil. If you plant yourself in toxic soil, don't be surprised when your growth is stunted. But if you put yourself in rich soil, in fertile ground, where the sunlight of positivity and the water of encouragement are constant, you'll grow into everything you were meant to be. Protect your environment and you protect your future. Excuses are the silent killers of your future. They sound harmless when they leave your mouth. But every time you give one, you cut off the power that could change your life. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have support. Listen to me. Every excuse you speak is training your brain to quit. You're building a pattern of surrender. You're telling your mind, when it gets tough, we give up. And eventually, that becomes your identity. Champions. You stop even trying because your excuses have convinced you that success doesn't belong to you. But let's be real, everybody has a reason why they shouldn't make it. Everybody has circumstances that could justify failure. The people who win are not the ones who never faced obstacles. The people who win are the ones who refused to let excuses control their mindset. They didn't say, I don't have time. They said, I'll find time. They didn't say, I don't have resources. They said, I'll create resources. They didn't say, I'm not ready. They said, I'll prepare as I go. That's the difference. The winner has the same problem you do, but they chose a different thought. See, excuses make you feel comfortable in the moment. They let you off the hook. They give you a temporary pass so you don't have to face the pressure of doing the work. But comfort is the enemy of progress. Excuses might save your pride today, but they will cost you your future tomorrow. You think you're protecting yourself by making excuses, but you're actually chaining yourself to the same place year after year while your dreams pass you by. Let me paint the picture. Every time you make an excuse, imagine laying another brick in a wall. That wall is being built between you and your destiny. And the more excuses you make, the higher and thicker that wall becomes. Until one day, you can't even see your dreams anymore because the wall is blocking your vision. You built it with your own words. That's why you've got to stop feeding your brain excuses and start feeding it solutions. You say, I can't do it because I don't know how. No. Change that to, I'll learn how. You say, I don't have enough energy. Change that to, I'll create energy through discipline. You say, I don't have what it takes. Change that to, I'll grow into who I need to be. When you flip the language, you flip the power. Because words don't just describe your reality. Words create your reality. Here's the truth, excuses are easy. Responsibility is hard. But responsibility is where growth happens. Responsibility is where you get stronger, smarter, sharper. Responsibility forces you to dig deeper, to stretch yourself, to find solutions you didn't even know existed. That's how champions are made. Not by avoiding responsibility, but by embracing it. So the next time your mind starts feeding you excuses, I want you to stop and ask, is this helping me? Or is this holding me back? Be honest. Because deep down, you know the truth. That excuse is not protecting you. It's robbing you. It's stealing your future. And the only way to break free is to stop rehearsing those excuses and start rehearsing the language of victory. From this moment on, I want you to commit no more excuses. None. From today forward, when the thought comes, I can't, you replace it with, I will. When the thought comes, I don't have enough, you replace it with, I'll find a way. You don't let that excuse live. You kill it the moment it shows up. Because every time you kill an excuse, you give life to your dream. Excuses are the chains. Execution is the key. And the second you choose execution over excuses, you unlock the future you were meant to live. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect feeling, the perfect mood, the perfect wave of inspiration to hit you. Motivation is a visitor. It comes and goes when it wants to. Discipline is a resident. It lives with you. It stays. It shows up even when nothing else does. And here's the truth. Discipline doesn't start with your body. It starts in your mind. Before your feet ever hit the ground in the morning, before your hands ever touch the work, before your body ever feels tired or strong, your mind has already made the decision. If your thinking says, I don't feel like it today, your body is going to obey. But if your mind says, no matter what, we show up, your body has no choice but to follow. That's why so many people quit. They're trying to build discipline from the outside in. They set alarms, they make schedules, they write down goals, but their mind is still weak. Their inner conversation is still soft. And when their feelings rise up, their plans collapse. You cannot discipline your body if you haven't disciplined your thoughts first. Discipline is mental warfare before it's physical action. Let me give it to you straight. Discipline is the ability to tell yourself yes to the hard things and no to the easy things, even when you don't feel like it. And that starts in your thinking. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., it's your brain that makes the choice. When the gym feels too far, it's your brain that makes the choice. When the business feels too heavy, when the studying feels too long, when the grind feels too painful, your brain is in charge. If your brain is weak, your body will surrender. But if your brain is strong, your body will adapt. Discipline is not glamorous. Discipline doesn't clap for you. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is boring, repetitive, uncomfortable, but it is also the birthplace of greatness. Every champion you've ever admired didn't get there because they were always motivated. They got there because they trained their mind to command their body, and they showed up whether they felt like it or not. Here's the mistake people make: they wait until they feel ready. That's why they never start. That's why they never finish. The secret is this: you don't need to feel ready. You need to think ready. You need to decide that ready is not a feeling, it's a mindset. You need to decide, I will execute whether I feel like it or not. That's how discipline takes root in your life. And once your mind accepts that discipline is non-negotiable, your actions will follow. Your body will get used to the grind. Your emotions will eventually adjust. But it all starts with the mental decision that quitting is not an option, comfort is not the goal, and feelings don't get to run the show. So I want you to flip the switch in your head. From today forward, stop telling yourself, I need motivation. Start telling yourself, I need discipline. Stop saying, I don't feel like it. Start saying, I don't care how I feel. Stop waiting for the mood to hit. Start commanding your thoughts to obey. Because when your mind becomes unshakable, your actions become unstoppable. You can train your body all day long, but until you train your mind, you'll always break at the first sign of pressure. But if you build mental discipline, if you make your thoughts strong enough, you'll find that your body will do things you never thought it could. And your life will reach levels you never imagined. Discipline is a mindset first. Get your thoughts locked in, and your life will never be the same. The gap between average and great isn't talent, it's thinking. That's the truth most people don't want to face. They think success is about luck, about being born in the right family, about having the right resources. No. The real difference is in the mindset. Average people think about what's comfortable. Great people think about what's possible. Average people think about what they could lose. Great people think about what they could build. That's why one person gets stuck in the same cycle year after year, while another person breaks barriers and makes history. It's not about what they had. It's about how they thought. You can't keep thinking like everybody else and expect to stand out. You can't keep thinking about shortcuts, comfort, and safety and expect to live a life of impact. Winners think different, permanently. Not just for a day, not just when they're hyped, not just after hearing a motivational word. They decide that their mind will operate on a new level forever. They train themselves to see opportunity where others see obstacles. They discipline themselves to look for solutions when others look for excuses. They choose to think like leaders, not followers. The truth is, your brain is always searching for patterns. If your pattern of thought is average, you will live an average life. If your pattern of thought is fear, you will live a fearful life. But if your pattern of thought is courage, vision, and perseverance, your life will follow suit. That's why you've got to permanently rewire the way you think. Because if you don't, you'll always drift back to old habits, old excuses, old limits. Greatness requires a permanent shift. It's not about having one big idea or one big push of energy. It's about changing your default settings. Average people default to comfort. Winners default to hunger. Average people default to doubt. Winners default to belief. Average people default to, I can't. Winners default to, I will figure it out. That's what separates them. They've made a decision to permanently program their mind for greatness. Think about it. A champion doesn't think about what happens if they lose. They think about how they're going to win. An innovator doesn't think about what could go wrong. They think about how they're going to make it right. A leader doesn't think about what they don't have. They think about how to maximize what they do have. That's the mindset shift. That's what it means to think different. And here's the thing. Once you shift your thinking permanently, your actions follow. You no longer negotiate with your excuses because your mind doesn't allow them. You no longer hesitate to take risks because your mind has already accepted that growth requires risk. You no longer settle for average because your mind is allergic to average. You've trained yourself to expect more, to demand more, to chase more. But this doesn't happen by accident. You have to intentionally reprogram yourself every day. You have to watch what you feed your mind, because whatever you feed it, it will multiply. If you feed it fear, it will grow fear. If you feed it faith, it will grow courage. If you feed it excuses, it will grow limitations. If you feed it discipline, it will grow results. Winners understand this, and that's why they protect their mindset like it's life itself. Because it is. So I need you to make a decision today. Stop dipping your toe into greatness and then running back to average when it gets uncomfortable. Stop thinking different for a week and then falling back into old patterns. Decide that from this day forward, you're done with average thinking. Decide that from this day forward, your mindset is locked on greatness, not temporarily, permanently. Because the day you permanently change the way you think is the day you permanently change the way you live. Your breakthrough is not waiting in the gym. It's not waiting in the classroom. It's not waiting in the bank. Your breakthrough is waiting in your mind. The day you change the way you think is the day you change the way you live.